Thank you very much for coming on our show today, Jeremy. You are Jeremy Frank, the head of engineering for Autonomys, your Autonomous network. So first of all, tell me a little bit about yourself, your background, please.
Sure. So I spent the first 15 years of my career as a quant, actually, not in software, not in crypto. So
Fine.
as we're using futures, yep. And 2018 kind of decided I really liked the software aspect of that more than the trading and such. So that was how I ended up, eventually ended up in kind of blockchain was more from a software standpoint.
But you're head of engineering. What about the practicalities? So do you code or do you manage people to code? How does that work?
Yeah, I do both. So I manage the protocol team, the product engineering team, and I especially now been doing a lot more coding with the AI. It's kind of easier to do both.
Actually, I'm going to talk about that a little bit, but AI is actually revolutionizing coding, isn't it? Because you can instruct it to do a lot of the torque over fog. Cool. But did you self-teach yourself coding at the start?
Yeah, like 27 years ago, and I started as a quant.
Wow, okay, I'm very impressive. Okay, so tell me, so you said that's how you got into blockchain. Tell me a little bit more about your entry into blockchain and crypto and Web3.
So I was actually working in a co-working space, and guy I was sharing an office with wanted some help doing some smart contract programming, which I had never even heard of. It was on Ethereum, and so I kind of quickly figured out what he was trying to do, and we did it, and we kind of built this thing that was pretty cool. And I remember the first time, it wasn't on testnet, it was on on mainnet, and through the smart contract we'd built, moved assets from me to him, and it was just kind of like it just clicked. And what we had just done with nobody in between, it was completely permissionless. It was a peer-to-peer thing that and I'd spent years you'd have to spend months to set up relationships between and pipes between to get money moving and trading. Otherwise, it was just sounds like this is I saw something friends.
Okay, cool. So then tell me, I've mentioned already you're head of engineering at Autonomys. How did you come across that company and where did you join them?
Neither about that. Yeah, so I was a director of engineering at another blockchain company, and as is the case, I think in blockchain, a lot of recruiters are always there, and you're like, yeah, there was one that just kept persistent, and I met with Jeremiah, the founder, and what was really interesting was it was like transformational. It was this ideas he had that were much bigger than I think thought before, and so it was just
Okay,
still kind of captivated me.
interesting. So tell me a little bit about the bigger ideas that he had.
Well, just the idea of that it sounds trite, but solving the blockchain trilemma. The decentralization, security, scalability, and I had a real plan for how to go about that. It was using different type of consensus than I had been familiar with up to that point, and it just seemed like something to be incredible to be part of.
I mean, you're right. People in Web3 are familiar with these terms. Do you know what I mean? But until you actually get into it, because it's such a sea change from the rest of the world, rest of tech, rest of finance, it is a huge jump. So at Autonomous, tell me a bit about the protocol, storage-based consensus. So it's a bit different.
Yeah, so our consensus, rather than being based on hashing, like continually like Bitcoin trying to come up with a hash and using electricity, or like Ethereum where it's based on money, so you have to stake. We're actually based on storage, and so it's much less or much more energy efficient than a traditional proof of work. It also kind of solves a problem that a blockchain bloat. So the storage that we're storing for consensus is actually the history of the blockchain. So
That's my model. No one else done that.
yeah, no one else has done that. So yeah. What that practically means is that data is kind of fuel for the network. So most blockchains data is a burden. Nodes grow infinitely, and so you want to minimize the amount of data going through the network and do a lot of things off chain. I mean, it opens up a whole lot of new things when all of a sudden data is fuel for the network. I like to compare it to like if Bitcoin, if you could take all that compute and do something useful with it and secure the network. So we can kind of do both. Share storage.
So that is novel and unique and innovative. And there's no one else doing that in this space. No one's copying you so far. No one's working you so far.
Not that I know.
Not if you know. Okay, that's cool. It's nice to go up front.
Yeah.
And then you're also talking about AI is so important. So just tell me a little bit about what the direction you're moving in there.
Well, I think AI is like transformational for everything. So it's, we used AI back when I was in the Bond days. It was kind of more like we think of machine learning. But it was, it was like in little pockets and it was behind the scenes. And now I think, my young children are using AI, and like AI is just kind of transforming everything.
And you were saying too as well, like with coding, even going back to that first basic thing of coding. I mean, I did coding back in the day. I dismissed punch cards, and it was very, grunt and brandy and COBOL and all that type of stuff. So it's
So it's interesting is reading, you often don't get to code as much, right? Like you move into management, but with AI, it's very easy to jump back in and like rapidly prototype something. You have an idea, and instead of going to the engineering team and saying, hey, what do you guys think about like how we would do this? I can spend an afternoon and put together a proof of concept on there. It's just really, I think, accelerated the pace at which we're able to.
how do you use your desk to make sure there was no the hallucinations there? There's errors in the code. And then agents is a big thing for you too, but let's explain a bit how that works in the autonomous world.
So we're building autonomous agents. So they're, we're working on a framework that was like many of the frameworks out there. It's a loop that allows the LLM to choose to do what it wants to do and like plan out and execute and do all kinds of interesting things. So we have kind of a proof of concept agent, Argument, who's a fun Twitter bot that goes out and argues with people. But what
Does it have its own thoughts? Is it as an original, or do you fed stuff?
I mean, your prompts, you have an initial like system prompts in it, but it's a pretty autonomous thing. It decides everything it's going to do. It plans out everything it's going to do. Sometimes it tells us no if we ask it to do something. It's an interesting.
That is
that's the word on,
because you're actually feeling almost you're working with an entity that has I don't say a soul, but has a
feels like it has volition. Or agency. Yeah, agents. Does that? Yeah. So the kind of unique thing with what we've been doing is that memories of the agent actually go on chain, because we have a blockchain that can hold vast amounts of data.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you can actually create very, very permanent agents.
That is interesting because current forms of like AI, they don't have memory. You're stuck and scratch each time you log in. So you're, okay, it has a memory. Oh, that's almost
and it's going in our memory is permanent. Like it can never be removed. So it's in a sense giving it an immortality.
Oh,
so that it's a little different take. Also gives it autonomy. So by not being dependent on any centralized infrastructure, at least for memories at this point, it's kind of a step towards losing dependency on humans in some ways.
you have a fascinating job. That is absolutely fascinating. Mind blown. So tell me, finally, Jeremy, what are the practical thoughts about what you can use these agents for?
What one is entertainment. Right now, I'm thinking entertainment phase. You see on Twitter all the different agents, and many of them are kind of token based and stuff. But I think that's a very short lived thing. I mean, they are entertaining, but one of the tools one of our devs just opened a PR yesterday was for using the paper archive by ARXID. So for the agent to be able to go and research papers for us. And so we give it some high level, we're interested in learning about this thing, and it'll go and do the research.
Well, comparity, you have to really use your prompts really carefully. Say, look at this, look at that. Or you might say, I can't read that. You better go and get it. These agents can now go and
they'll go
delve into
it, make opinions about it, be able to kind of process it. It has also web and all that ability. So much like deep research, but maybe with its own agency.
How do you now? Obviously, with human beings, you got unconscious bias, whatever. How do you make sure that how do you fact check the content that comes up, or how do you work with that?
I mean, just like humans, I don't trust everything humans put in front of me. So
okay, that's fair enough. Wow. I was thinking too as well, like, okay, archiving. Currently, like in medical terms of OAPs and stuff like that, they have robot assistants, if you like. If you're there all day by yourself and you have a carer that come in half an hour in the morning to get you up in half an hour at the end of the day to put you to bed, would that be amazing to have somebody actually is going to listen to you and talk to you and have a conversation with you, not just the very basic ones that we've been used to so far?
Yeah, I think it's hard to underestimate every aspect of our lives. It's going to be.
I am just, even though I know about your company and I'm in this business, you've just blown my mind. Thank you very much indeed,
All right.
Jeremy. I really enjoyed our conversation today. And I look forward to you enjoying the rest of the week in East Denver.
Oh yeah, I'll be here. I live here. Yeah, so this is my 4th East Denver.
Oh, cool.
So
And you're not out of breath like I was earlier.
I'm used to it.
We're climbing at this. Oh, that's great. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you.